She said, because of your ADHD, you are not giving your son everything that he needs and you're not being a good mom. Welcome to Vlogmas, where I vlog every day. It'll probably be boring, but I hope you'll stay. Merry Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. He's so funny. Hey! Are you doing yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good getting that yoga in the morning, huh?
More cocoa?
Okay, go get cocoa. Hello everybody, that was so cute. Hello. Eric's working again today. So it is me and Flynn and Coco hanging out all day. What a fun day. And what'd you see outside today? What's outside? What's outside? Should we go see?
More cocoa.
More Coco? Should we go outside? What's outside? What's outside, baby? What'd you see outside? Trash truck. Should we go outside?
Yeah.
It's trash day, so we should go see the trash truck, huh? Let's go see the trash truck. A lot has happened since I last saw you. We went on a quick little walk. There is a stay-at-home order right now in Los Angeles. So you're not supposed to leave your house at all, except for the order said like, you can't leave your home at all, but like you can also, like gyms are open, malls are open, hair salons are open, tattoo parlors are open. Basically everything's still open, so it's really confusing. But it is essential for the dog and for my son to have fresh air and go for a walk. So we go for a quick walk this morning to where there's no one around, wearing masks. We're very safe. We didn't see anybody, don't worry. Now, Flynn's taking a nap, but when he wakes up, we're prepping because we're gonna do the nutcracker that we did at my live concert. We're gonna do it in here with nice quality, not like live stream quality, to upload to my YouTube channel so anyone can watch it. But in the live show that I did last week for childhood cancer, Eric was in it. Eric was one of the ballerinas, but he's obviously working, so he can't do it. But I really wanna post the video still, even though he's really busy for the next couple weeks. So we have a fun little surprise. We figured out something really cool. So instead of Eric, we still have someone else coming in to do the nutcracker with us. It's gonna be really cute. So make sure to check it out. I'm really excited about it. I'm just testing the settings and everything right now. It's that time of night. And go!
Yeah.
Come on, let's do it. Here we go. It's jumping time. 1, 2, 3, go! Good one. There's a big jump. 1, 2, 3, go!
Cocoa-doo-doo.
Cocoa-doo-doo.
Baby-doo.
Baby-doo.
Jump, jump, jump.
Oh, ninja. What? Go! Try again.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go!
Woo! Good job! You guys, I am so excited. I was very late to the game with getting advent calendars this year. Advent calendars were never something I did as a kid. Were they something you guys did? Because I don't remember ever doing them as a kid, but maybe that's something people do. But it's the first year ever where I was like, oh, I should do it this year for Flynn. It's actually because someone tweeted me, one of you tweeted me like, oh, you should get this advent calendar for Flynn, and it was construction trucks. So I ordered it a couple days ago. It's not coming till next week. But while I was looking for one with construction trucks for him, I found a couple that I wanted for myself, or for us. One is super cool. Moose is very excited about it. It's just called the Advent Calendar of Kindness, which I thought this would be really Moose. Which I thought this would be a fun one to do with you guys if you wanted to. Hi Moose, yes, I see you. That's a very cool ball. Thank you for showing that to me. So obviously we're a little late. What day is it? Is it the 3rd or 4th? It's the 3rd. So we have to catch up. Let's open up day 1. It says, hello and welcome to a month filled with kindness and generosity. The idea of this calendar is to inspire you to complete as many kindness missions as possible during the following weeks. You decide which missions you want to do and when to do them. You do not have to complete the missions the same day you open the window, so whenever you complete a mission, just check it off using the checkbox next to it. Let's start with 2 easy missions so you get the hang of it. Mission 1, write a nice online review for a store, restaurant, or coffee shop that you often visit, which I don't visit anyone, but I can definitely find a nice like store or something that a friend owns or something and write a nice review. Mission 2, call a family member, a relative, or a friend that you haven't talked to in a long time. Wait, a family member and relatives, that's not the same? Family member, relative, or friend I haven't talked to in a long time. I don't know, I feel like I talk to everyone so often. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think of who I'm gonna call, but those were the day 1s. So I wanna catch up, so we'll go to day 2. Okay, it's obvious that this was not created during a pandemic because the next one, it explains rainbow colored benches called buddy benches at schoolyards and playgrounds. The idea, which originated in Germany, is that children who are lonely can sit in them to signal to others they'd like someone to play with or talk to. I've never heard of that before, it's so cool. And it says like, do something similar. Ask a coworker or fellow student who seems lonely if they wanna join you for coffee or lunch. I don't leave my house, so I can't do that. But the next mission says, write a list of things you appreciate about one of your friends and give it to them. So I can totally do that. And then the 3rd one is right here, and it says, you're beautiful. Next mission, let's spread some love. Prepare some Post-it notes with encouraging phrases and put them up around town for others to find. Again, during COVID, I can't, we're strict lockdowns, but these are great missions to do once COVID's lifted. The next mission is prepare some notes with uplifting messages and then sneak out late at night.
Sneak out!
And put them in your neighbor's mailboxes. It'll be a nice surprise hidden in their usual pile of bills. Those are really nice. I'm pretty sure touching another person's mailbox is illegal in the United States. You can totally get arrested for that. But I love the idea of writing nice, encouraging notes for people and sharing them with people. So this is a fun, cute thing we can all do together. The other one is 24 Days of Crafts. I had to get it. So it says, open this window with day 1. Day 1 is right here. Oh my gosh, this is kind of exciting. I don't know that I remember ever really doing advent calendars as a kid. What is it? It's a weird shape. Okay, well, I don't know what was in there, but there's nothing in there now. I think it was these paintbrushes and a sponge. What do I do with this? And this says, open this with day 1. But I opened it, and there's nothing there. Okay, so I got a sponge and 2 paintbrushes. Alrighty, this is a little disappointing. Let's go on to day 2. Okay, day 2 is over here, so I'm gonna open this one up. Paints is day 2. So I guess maybe you don't get a craft for every day, you just get something to do every day. So the first day was the sponge, and then, anyway, we got some paint. And day 3 is up here. Flynn's gonna like this one. Flynn, come look what I just got. What is that? What is that?
Rock.
A rock. We can paint a rock, Flynn. What do you think? You wanna paint it?
Black.
Okay, we'll paint it. Yeah, we can.
Pink. Black. Black. Black.
Yeah, we can use all those colors.
Black.
Yeah, after dinner.
Can you show them how you turn it?
Yeah, can you show them how you do that? So he's got this cool car someone sent us. It turns blue. That's
Good
so
job,
cool,
Flynn.
Flynn. Wow.
Black.
Now he's gonna turn
He's
it
gonna
black.
turn it black.
Cocoa.
So finishing touches.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Cocoa.
Okay, it's time to make dinner. All right, guys, it is much later, and it's time to read a book. I got a new book. I feel like Flynn doesn't have any Christmas stories, and so I bought him this one. I don't know it, but it just looked cute, and I like board books because he's still in the phase where he can rip pages and he gets things on pages and draws on pages and rips pages and puts water on pages and all the things. So board books are the way we do things in this house. Oh, you wanna read that one too? Okay, we can read the orange one and we're gonna read this one. Sit down, let's read this one. You wanna read the orange one? Okay, come sit on your pumpkin. Sometimes he blows my mind. Like when it was Halloween time a few months ago, we went to a pumpkin patch and we taught him pumpkin. And he said pumpkin at the time, but it was kind of like pump pump or something. And now he's just throwing books on the floor. But we have not talked about pumpkins or seen pumpkins since Halloween. And he just handed me this book and said pumpkin. I feel like I'm totally being a mom right now where I'm like, my kid is so smart, as he's like throwing books behind me. Okay, come here, we're gonna read this book. Okay, which one do you wanna read? You wanna read pumpkin? Or do you wanna read Merry Christmas, stinky face? You wanna read pumpkin? Okay, sit on mama chair. If he sits on your lap, he calls it your name and then chair. Mama chair, dada chair, grandma chair. You're my little pumpkin pie. You're my... Yeah, this one doesn't have a dump truck. Oh, you needed your dump truck, of course. How could I forget? Wow! There's two babies! Wow! Dada! You are the one I love the most. No one compares to you. You're my special spider. No trick. You're such a treat. Oh,
2 orange.
oh, 2 orange spiders. Yes.
Oh, baby.
Yes, a baby. Her tired eyes flutter closed. And Merry Christmas, stinky face. Mama, what if the snow kept falling and falling and falling so much we couldn't open our door? I know what we'd do. We'd crawl out our window into the snow with some cups and juice. We'd sit in front of our door and have a giant snow cone party until we'd eat up all the snow. Look, they're eating ice cream.
Cream.
Ice cream. What if the sack of toys starts to rip? What if the reindeer needs a fur? There, that should do it. Merry Christmas, Mama. Merry Christmas, my stinky face. You want the pumpkin book? Okay, we can do the pumpkin book again. He didn't like this, and honestly, I didn't really like this book. No offense, I'm sure the author's amazing. And it had really good reviews, so most people like it, but there's no cars in it, first of all. And also, it says, it's called Merry Christmas Stinky Face, but there's nothing about it being a stinky face. Close, it's time for night-night. I'm gonna put him to bed. I'll see you guys later. Okay, so I did something I haven't done before. I tweeted out, what should I talk about for my late night office chat session in my vlogs? Because I always have this portion of the vlog where I like sit and talk to you guys, but I've never asked you guys what you want me to talk about here. I usually just kind of talk about my day or whatever, what I'm going through. But I was like, I wonder if they have something they want me to talk about. And I am shocked. I am shocked. Because I thought most people would be like, don't talk about mental health and don't cry again. Like, talk about something happy for once in your life, because I feel like I'm like a broken, whiny record and like everyone's over it and doesn't want to hear it anymore. I'm shocked because I feel like the majority of the comments are 2 things. I have about a lot of people saying what you're looking forward to when COVID is over, or what you're looking forward to in 2021. You know, what's the first thing you're gonna do, or where's the first place you want to tour, or who are you gonna hang out with first, or who are you gonna collab with first? Like a lot of questions like that, but a lot of questions about mental health and talking about mental health and therapy and how all that's going, which I don't know why that shocks me so much. I feel like because I talk about it so often that I'm like, there's no way anyone wants to hear me talk about this. But anyway, I'll give you a little summary. So first of all, what I'm looking forward to, let's start with positivity. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like this is gonna sound really negative, and I don't mean for it to, but I'm not looking forward to anything yet, and I'll explain why. I know it sounds negative, but it's not, I promise. Because right now I don't see an end in sight with COVID. Now, I know y'all are gonna be like, that is so negative, you shouldn't say things like that. Of course COVID's gonna end, of course everything's gonna go back to normal eventually. We don't know when, but like, there's a vaccine coming out, and of course things are gonna go back to normal. So I know that sounds negative, but every person deals with things differently. The type of person that I am, one of my biggest flaws is that when I get disappointed, it destroys me. Like if I get my hopes up about something, like it will destroy me. Like I will have a total breakdown. Because of that, I know that about myself. So I try to set the bars for my life, and this is just for me, I don't recommend this for people, but I try to set the bar really low. That way when I exceed the bar, I get really excited. Because I'm a very excitable, dramatic, emotional person. When things are really good, I'm like terrifyingly happy, and when things are really bad, I'm like really, really sad. Like I feel emotions very deeply. And so if I set my bar really low for things in life, career or friends or things like COVID, if I set the bar low, then if things are just even slightly good, I'm like, things are amazing. And if things are bad, I'm like, well, I knew they'd be bad, so that's fine. I can handle it because I knew it was gonna be bad, so it's all good. Whereas if I set a bar anywhere in the middle, if it's low, then I'm like, well, I really thought it was gonna be this, and now it's down here, and then I get really, really upset. And if it's like meats added or a little bit higher, it's not as exciting. Whereas if I'm like, I just assume everything is horrible, and so I just go, well, I'm just gonna work my hardest to be happy and do everything I can to be positive and do good things when I can. I'm just gonna try my hardest, but know that like life just kind of sucks sometimes. Again, I'm not recommending this strategy to life. I'm just letting you know that for my personality and how I work, I know I get really severely disappointed, so that's what I do. So because of that, with COVID, when COVID started, they said it's gonna be like a 2-week lockdown or a 3-week lockdown or something. So I had set my hopes on that. And I was excited about that because I thought I'd be able to go back on tour and I'd be able to go live my life. And then they announced, no, it's gonna be a couple more weeks. And I was like, oh, and I was really disappointed and devastated about that because I wanted to see my family and I wanted to see my friends and I wanted to tour and I wanted to go places and do things. And then they kept pushing it back and back and back. And every time they pushed it back, like everyone else, I was disappointed, but I was like, really not doing well. Like my mental health really freaking declined, and is because I got really disappointed and really, really sad. And I had all these plans in my head of like going back on tour and seeing my family and living life again, and it just never came. Now I'm at a point where everyone around me is like, oh, things are looking up. There's a vaccine coming out. You know, things are gonna get better soon. But I've learned from this year that I don't react well to thinking that and then it doesn't happen. So I'd rather just look at it like, it's probably not gonna get better for a very long time. So that's okay. I need to be okay with that. I need to accept that and find peace in that and make the best of the situation knowing it's gonna be garbage. That is way easier said than done. There are days where I'm a disaster, and yesterday was one of those days. You know, as long as I don't like excite myself, like if I was like, oh yeah, there's a vaccine coming out, so in a month everything's gonna be back to normal and everything's gonna be great and I'm gonna see all my family and friends, and then in a month I'm gonna get really depressed. And so I know it sounds like I'm being negative, but I'm not, I promise. I promise this is my way to not be negative. This is my way to like actually be positive, because every person is different and everyone is wired differently. So again, I'm not recommending that to anybody. That's just what I have found works for me. It's not that I'm like, well, COVID's gonna last forever and everything's gonna be awful. It's not that I think that. It's just I'm not expecting it to be good. I'm not expecting it to end, because if I have expectations, I don't wanna get let down. So instead of, I'm not thinking of it negatively or positively, I'm just kind of not thinking about it because I don't want to get my hopes up. That being said, if I really had to force myself to think about it, eventually when COVID ends, someday, I would love to go on tour again. But again, I'm not gonna get my hopes up for that because I don't know if that's in my future, because I don't know if people buy tickets to see me on tour, and I don't know if people would even want to go to see a show after COVID's over, because everyone's gonna be so scared since of all this COVID stuff. So I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But I am excited to just like go to stores. Like I miss going to like the craft store and walking around. I miss going to the grocery store. I think the number one thing I'm excited to do, more than tour even, is take Flynn to do stuff. Anything, literally anything. Like as his mom, I want him to experience life to the fullest and learn every day and have fun every day. And I want to learn more about him. And I feel like I learn the most about him when I watch him experience something new. I really enjoyed when I was, before COVID, like watching him in a museum and seeing what things in a museum excited him, and like what made him talk more or want to walk, or this is before he was walking. I really liked that. And I wish I could take him to like mommy and me classes and music classes and dance classes. And I wish I could take him to parks and watch him play with other kids and go on a swing. Like he hasn't been on a swing in well over 9 months. I just want to see him experience things that kids experience. I think that's what I'm most excited about. Like it is breaking my heart that for his birthday, he's gonna be alone. Like he has me and he has Eric and he has Kory, and like who knows, maybe like my parents will be able to be there or something, but like I don't know. It just, I wish he could have a birthday party with other kids. Like, so it's like I'm having a lot of mom guilt about that. So that's definitely the number one thing I'm looking forward to when everything's done, is just like trying to let my child have a normal life. Like I care more about that than anything. Like I could start crying right now. I just want to see him like see things and experience things, and I want to take him to the beach and to the park and travel with him and take him to a grocery store. He doesn't remember what a grocery store is. Like, he hasn't been to a Target, like, since he was, like, barely a year old. I'm certain he doesn't remember it. So, like, I wonder what he would do in a toy store. Like, how would he react? I just want to experience all that with him. So that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Now, as far as mental health, because I can't believe, but a lot of people are asking about that, I'll try to give you a really quick rundown. I kind of talked about it a little bit a couple vlogs ago, but like my dermatillomania is running rampant right now and is not doing well. So I have dermatillomania, which is a skin picking disorder, which is basically like anxiety. It stems from anxiety and OCD. It sucks and it's the worst and I hate it and I want it to go away. I was in therapy for it and I stopped seeing that therapist because it wasn't a good fit, and that's normal. When you have a therapist, like, you have to find the right person. I thought she was a great therapist, but she just wasn't the right therapist for me. So then I got diagnosed with ADHD and I started learning all about ADHD and how to live with ADHD. I never knew I had it. Like, I would never clinically been diagnosed with it before. And so then I started educating myself on that and what that means for me. And I love that I'm ADHD because it's the reason I think I've had so much success. It's the reason I am how I am. It's the reason why people in my life are always like, how do you get all these things done? How do you, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn at all. Trust me, I'm a hot mess. I'm not saying I'm this great person, but like, people are like, how do you write a book and write a TV show and do 4 videos a week and be on tour all at the same time? Like, how are you doing all those things? And I'm like, I don't know, it's just how my brain works. That's because I always have to be doing a million things in order to keep my brain stimulated. I have to be doing creative new things all the time. Like, I cannot get bored. Like, I just cannot get bored. Anyway, it's been really interesting learning about ADHD and learning why my brain is the way that it is, and learning that, like, oh, I wasn't stupid when it came to that specific thing in school growing up. I just was ADHD, like, and I never knew. I just thought I was stupid when it came to those types of things. So it's been really interesting learning about it. And so that's been great, but I do need to find a new therapist, and I've been dreading it, but not because I don't love therapy. I love therapy. I just kind of have a sour taste in my mouth because my last therapist was great, but I went to one before. Not my last therapist. My last therapist did not do this. She was really wonderful. I really liked her. The one before, I don't want to go into details, but she like totally mom shamed me because of my ADHD, and I was so deeply offended. I've only had really positive experiences with therapists, so the fact that I had a negative experience with a therapist like just put a really bitter taste in my mouth. So I even feel like the last therapist I had, like, she was great, and there could have been a lot of resentment from me because I like was harboring resentment from the last experience I had had. I don't want to get into the details of it, but basically I was just like kind of talking about how I can't focus on anything. And this is before I knew I had ADHD. I didn't know. She was telling me that, like, I needed to work my brain so that it could focus on one thing at a time. And I was like, people can do that? Like, I didn't understand what she meant. And I was like, no, well, in my brain's always, I was like right now as I'm talking to you, I'm also thinking about a recipe I want to make for dinner. I'm thinking about a video I have to edit, and I'm also thinking of a video I want to film tomorrow. I'm also thinking about these emails that I need to write tonight, or these people are gonna get, like, I started listing all the stuff I was thinking about, and I was like, I'm thinking about all these things while I'm talking to you. Like, as we're having this conversation, I'm thinking of all these other things. So I was explaining to her that I needed help, like, to be able to focus on one thing, because I couldn't do that. And I was like, how do you focus on one thing? And instead of telling me like tools or talking about that, or like explaining like different ways I could try to like focus on one thing at a time, she said, well, when you're with your son, you need to only focus on him and be in that moment with him, because otherwise you are hurting his development, and he knows that you're not paying attention to him, and it's gonna hurt him because this is the most important year of his life, and you're hurting his development and growth. Like, and straight up just was like, because of your ADHD, you are not giving your son everything that he needs, and you're not being a good mom. And I don't remember the exact words she used, but it was pretty harsh. It wasn't nice. And she basically, without me asking, said I was hurting my son's development and that it was going to be detrimental to him that I couldn't focus on one thing at a time. I like instantly burst into tears and was like, you're telling me that because of something I can't control, I have no control over it, that my brain is wired this way, I can't help it. You're saying just because of how I'm wired and because of who I am and how my brain works, and I have no control over that, I'm hurting I'm a bad mom and I'm hurting my son. And so I feel like that has just stuck with me so much and like hurt me so much and made me so upset. And I think about it a lot, and like, oh, it made me so angry. And so now I'm kind of like, because I do believe that I'm a good mother, and Flynn and I have a bond like I've never experienced, I've never seen. Like, he's my everything. And yeah, sometimes when we're playing, my mind is thinking about a million other things, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that as long as he knows I love him and I'm there with him, and I care about him, and I'm interested in him, and I want to hear his feelings, and I want to talk to him, I think that's what matters. And so it's okay if my mind is also thinking about other things, like, because I can't turn that off. Like, that doesn't exist. So anyway, I just rambled for so freaking long, but so I need to go back to therapy is basically what I'm saying. But I have a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. There's your mental health update. I'm not doing great, but I'm not doing horrible either. I'm really lucky and I have a great life, and I have a lot of wonderful things to be grateful for. But lockdown is hard, quarantine's been hard, and it's the holidays, and I can't be with my family right now, which sucks, and it's my son's birthday soon, and I just want to spoil him rotten with family and friends and a big party, and obviously I'm not going to do that. So I'm having like mom guilt and whatever, but that's that. I love you guys. I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.